We all want to feel happy when we're at home and among friends. At work, it's the same thing. We all want a trusting and collaborative work environment. There are a number of behaviors that contribute to a comfortable work environment, including respect, collaboration, politeness, common courtesy, and good manners. Together, these behaviors define what we call civility. But even if everyone understands the importance of treating others with respect, things like stress, workloads, deadlines, and the pressures of everyday life can lead to behaviors, gestures, or words that can upset, offend, or hurt other people. These types of uncivil behavior are examples of incivility. Your workplace is a unique environment in which people from different cultures and with different values come together not by choice, but to make a living. This means that the interpretation of someone's behavior can vary from person to person, much like a joke made in poor taste. We've all been guilty of incivility or subject to uncivil behavior at one time or another. Some behaviors are outright examples of incivility, such as making fun of a colleague, insulting them, talking about them behind their back, or belittling their work. Other gestures or behaviors are a bit less obvious, such as being often late, looking at your cell phone while someone is talking, cutting people off, swearing or using foul language, leaving a mess behind and making others clean up after you, not putting tools or equipment back where they belong, disturbing others, or shouting at people. These gestures and behaviors are not necessarily meant to be malicious or hurtful, but they affect your work environment all the same. Uncivil behavior can have several negative effects on those who are subject to it. It makes people doubt themselves and suffer from feelings of isolation. It causes stress and anxiety. It increases the risk of work accidents. It leads to depression, to absenteeism, and might even cause someone to quit their job. But uncivil behavior also begets uncivil behavior. As a defense mechanism, a person might resort to disrespectful gestures or behaviors. Both people involved in the conflict can suffer the consequences. And an unresolved conflict can become a risk factor for harassment. But even before the situation results in harassment, incivility can lead to a formal recourse. Your employer has a responsibility to act and might end up reassigning you to another job site, changing your work schedule, or taking other administrative action as needed. This could lead to disciplinary action such as a warning, suspension, and even dismissal. If you're a representative of the company, such as a supervisor, you could be opening yourself up to a grievance from employees victimized by your behavior. All this just for incivility? Yes, it's a legal obligation. Your employer is required to clearly state the expected behaviors, unacceptable behaviors, and their consequences. This information must be outlined in the Code of Conduct or Harassment Prevention Policy. And all employees must have access to it. Your employer must also ensure that it's properly understood and remind everyone of it as required. Don't hesitate to ask questions if anything seems unclear. It can be tempting to trivialize inappropriate behavior and believe that it won't have any consequences. To think that time will fix things. Or to excuse your own or other people's behavior because you're going through a difficult time, or simply because we are the way we are. But it's important that you act quickly. If possible, talk to the person about what's bothering you so that the situation doesn't get out of hand. Stay calm and refrain from talking to them in front of other people. Choose the right time and place. Stick to the facts and avoid assumptions. Your coworker showed up late, was looking at their cell phone, and disrupted the meeting. These are facts. Saying they did this to undermine you is an assumption. Describe how their behavior made you feel. I found it hard to properly explain the instructions, and since I'm in charge, this can get me into trouble. I also felt that you were being disrespectful. Agree to resolve the situation by sharing your expectations. I'd like you to listen during our meetings because it's important. Then confirm that they understand. If the uncivil behaviors persist, document the facts and meet with your supervisor to discuss the situation. It's up to your employer to intervene, set the record straight, and help find a solution. Being civil with all of your coworkers doesn't mean creating one big circle of friends who all get along great. Being civil means showing respect for your coworkers. It's only with everyone's involvement that we can create and maintain a healthy work environment where everyone can be themselves.